Today, when you talk about serious politics, you talk about Narendra Modi. Whether you like it or not, he's in your face. He will be remembered for integrating Jammu and Kashmir. He will be remembered for making the Indian diaspora feel proud. He has given to the poorest of the poor dignity. Dignity is more important than wealth. And great leaders plan for tomorrow. Poor leaders walk today. Great leaders plan for India. Poor leaders plan on dividing India. Great leaders want to embrace the idea of India. Poor leaders want India to be divisive, broken up into little pieces. That's the difference between Narendra Modi and whoever else that you take into account. Narendra Modi is a politician. He's not an activist. He runs a political party, not an NGO. Did Netaji not say, I will give you freedom, give me your blood, sweat and tears? That's Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to see you today on the Speaknsee Show. Please like, subscribe, and click that notification button so when we get information out, you can get information in. We are so very grateful and thankful, blessed from the bottom of our hearts to have you joining us today. And as we see, this world's beginning to be enshrined right now with the social media's who and the political zoo. Who's got that president? Whose prime minister is that? Clicks, pops, and white noise and one-liners of the last great roast and which leader hits the hardest. Well, it's like smack talk on steroids for the internet's dopamine challenge that eliminates reality's substance of education and inserts instead a reel. A reel isn't a video reel. For the easily amused web addicts that are trapped into this marketer's algorithm and makes people want to come back for more. Click, oh, that was cool. Wow, I want to see another one just like that. Click, oop, 30 seconds later. But as we also have the former group I just mentioned, which are those who just want the details of every area, and those who you don't want to have a discussion with because they will destroy you with facts and information. Those fine details that matter about the topic of discussion. It's those 30-second quick clip TikTok-minded individuals who rely on their short clip to get them through a real discussion, who end up folding and bending their knees to the ones who just took a few extra moments of the truth to align and destroy the elementary, less informed loudmouth attached to the low brain data, or low data brain. Should I say? But when Prime Minister Modi talks, those who would normally watch 30 seconds of a clip and quickly find the next cool clip, even they stick around because his words are like ear candy, a slew of informative nuggets with every subject weaved into the next, as if the 5,000-word essay was put into a sentence of historical and monumental wisdom that expands to capture something within you that you have found and brings out a fresh look on life, a fresh look on things. Modi has become the epicenter where nations' most infamous leaders gather to replicate and try to clone and portray images of their politics, subscribing to what I look at now as Modiism. SEHUL Seth scratches the surface of why the world is all of a sudden fast-pacing and changing stances everywhere around the globe in astronomical proportions. Leaders are just flocking to Modi. Look, every culture is different. None are perfect. And if we can't see the flaws within our own, then we look harder and listen more closely and become more developed and aware to bloom where we're planted in the soils that have been specifically fertilized for our growth in our area. And that responsibility is on us, individually, as a country, as a person, before we try planting our seeds in another territory where the grounds have yet to produce good fruits from those same seeds. A tree will be known by its fruit. Henceforth, Modi and India, as a nation, have fertilized soil abroad in regions and climates that were alien to this message. And what many thought impossible has produced a crop that is growing beyond its region's soil and taking root in foreign lands that have for decades been in political, economical, and social famine. So grab a drink and get a glimpse of SEHUL Seth's heartfelt take on what Modi effect actually is. I think you're going to enjoy this, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for watching. Like and sub. Let's go. Play that clip.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And the good news is I don't have a teleprompter. So I'm actually looking into your charming eyes when I speak about a person who has actually captured the imagination not just of India, but if I may add, of the world. The man's name is Narendra Damodar Das Modi. Let me begin with an early morning anecdote of today. I got a call from an old Parsi friend of mine called Zubin Karkaria, who runs VFS. I don't know what it stands for, but I do know they do all the visas across the world. That company is a unicorn, and he asked me, what time is your afternoon siesta? I said, thanks to Times Now and the Times Network, there is no siesta today because I have a talk at 3:15, which has been delayed thanks to Eknath Shinde's new friend, Milind Deora. So he says, what will you speak on? I said, Brand Modi. He says, I have to tell you, he is the best encourager and bird keeper. I said, what do you mean? He says, for us at VFS, means for them, he has allowed them to fly with wings of confidence and with wings of courage. The hallmark of a brand is you never buy a brand. People tell you, na, a brand kharidte. No. You buy a benefit. You don't buy Colgate, you buy the whitest wash. It so happens that in your mind, the whitest wash is signified by Colgate, so you keep buying Colgate. Many of you who are young, some of the people in front who are sporting recent dentures are not. You remember, some were bywords. When we wanted to talk about edible oil, we talked about dalda. Today, when you talk about serious politics, you talk about Narendra Modi. When you talk about walking to nowhere, you talk about another young man who's not so young anymore. So the world changes. What is amazing about Narendra Modi, and I've written this, I first met Narendra Modi in 1999 when I was asked to handle the campaign for Atalji when he was staking claim for prime ministership. And from then till now, the hallmark of Narendra Modi is only one: consistency and focus. That's what great brands are all about. Brands are all about being consistent. You know that you will not be surprised with bad quality, you will not be surprised with unpredictability, and what's more, you will not be surprised with letting the customer down. No matter what you might say, and I hate all political parties. I think all political parties should be banned, but then what democracy will we have? I mean, Navika, poor thing, can't run India, even though she should. So what do? We are in a bind. Of all the choices that you have today, Narendra Modi is the only brand that has been made by himself, made for India, and made by Indians. Every other brand, more often than not, has been a brand out of legacy, has been a brand out of inheritance, and has been a brand which has been supported or substantiated by other factors. Narendra Modi has no lineage to talk about except the one he will leave behind. That's what great brands are about. Modi touches the hearts and minds of people, whether they love him or hate him. That's what great brands are about. You know what is the worst form of human antagonism? Is when you are indifferent to the human being. You can love a human being, you can hate a human being, but when you're indifferent, it's the worst insult to that human being. Today, Narendra Modi is the only political brand in India that is engaging every day. Whether you like it or not, he's in your face. Is that a good thing? Time will tell. He's there for a temple, he's there for a metro run, he's there to talk to, religious communities. He's pumping flesh with the G8 leaders, he's organizing the G20, and he's working 18 hours a day. The last time he went to Bangkok was for a conference. That's the difference. That is the difference. Brands need to constantly work. They need to constantly innovate. They need to constantly recalibrate. Great brands are those that are often and always relatable to people and people's desires, people's wants, people's needs. Brands are not, as you and I think, some vacuous entity that is found on the top of a shelf. Which are great literature brands that you and I remember? If I were to look at Hindi literature, Dinkar, Premchand, Rabindranath Tagore, more recently in the world of theatre, Vijay Tendulkar, Mahesh Dattani, which are the political brands that you remember? Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Mulayam Singh, Jaiprakash Narayan. The list is endless. But which brand will be remembered for altering India and altering the way Indians are perceived? Brands must always fulfill a need. What was the need in 2014? The need was for India to rise from the abyss and from the nadir it had sunk to by being known across the world as a country that promoted crony capitalism, that engendered corruption, and that was all about nepotism. That is what 2014 was all about. From 2004 to 2014, you had a lady who was in power but not in office. You had a man who was in office but not in power. That's the irony. Today you have Narendra Modi who's in power and in office. There's another person who's out of power and in jail, but we'll go to that later. He's also a brand. He's a disruptive brand. He's not a brand that you would take home to your mother and say, "Isse main shaadi kar loon." So which are the brands that you would be proud about? Whether you like it or not, and I don't subscribe to a lot of the things that Mr. Modi may subscribe to. I've often said that the BJP has been the worst communicator of its remarkable achievements. And let me tell you, very few governments have achieved what the BJP government has achieved from 2014 till now. But all of that is covered by the din of what I call nonsensical surround sound, which deals with religion, communities, all of that stuff. But Modi will be remembered. He will be remembered for integrating Jammu and Kashmir. He will be remembered for making the Indian diaspora feel proud, no matter which country they are in, no matter which nationality they hold today. He will make them, and he has made them proud of their origins. He has given to the poorest of the poor dignity. Dignity is more important than wealth. And let me tell you about poverty. It was famously said that poverty is not about money. It is about the lack of opportunities. That has changed under Narendra Modi, and that should continue to change. And Narendra Modi's other great brand descriptor is decisiveness. But even more important than that is his unwillingness to listen to surround sound. You know, I was just telling some friends earlier, there's no point in being popular. You can never be popular with everyone or anyone. The moment you get up from the dining table, they will abuse you. So if you're looking for popularity, go to Big Boss house. But if you're looking to run the country, be like Modi. Because many decisions will seem unpopular now, but they are for the greater good for tomorrow. And great leaders plan for tomorrow. Poor leaders walk today. Great leaders plan for India. Poor leaders plan on dividing India. Great leaders want to embrace the idea of India. Poor leaders want India to be divisive, broken up into little pieces. That's the difference between Narendra Modi and whoever else that you take into account. Which is why he will win elections. Because he's a political person. And the last thing before I get into this Q&A with Dipti, Narendra Modi is a politician, he's not an activist. He runs a political party, not an NGO. He's concerned about the aspirations of 1.4 billion people. He's not concerned about the aspirations of 127 jokers sitting in some foreign university trying to understand what he's saying. That's the essential difference. So the brand will continue to embellish itself because it has the power of sustenance from you and me and the voters. The blessings or the curse. That's what real brands are about. Brands are the ones that make a difference. Brands are the ones that encourage you. Brands are the ones that inspire you. And most importantly, brands, great brands, are those that invigorate you. If you can't be inspired, you can't be invigorated, and you can't be encouraged, then what's the purpose of a political brand? Did Churchill win the war himself? No. Did Netaji not say that I will give you freedom, give me your blood, sweat and tears? So it is, history is evident. History is witness to the fact that great brands are the ones that engage with consistency and with focus. Great brands are those that listen. but they don't listen to everything because ultimately their desire is to get things done. Their desire is not to find fault. Great brands are about optimism. Weak brands are cynical. Great brands are about the future. Weak brands are about yesterday. And that's why I believe Narendra Modi is a compelling brand. Brand Modi is not an idea whose time has come. It's an idea whose time shall remain. Tomorrow, who knows? It might become a noun for great work. It might become synonymous with hard work, and it will be a byword for being a true Indian. That's Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
And it's just not a name in India that they're hearing now. As we're seeing here, we're just trying to spread it all over the world. Why? Because, well, I believe that the United States needs to open their hearts and their minds a little bit more, in their eyes, actually, just their eyes and their ears, a little bit more to what's out there. And the more we've been showing people in America about Narendra Modi, the more we're seeing this uprising coming around saying, yes, the Americans are now saying, that's what we want. That's what we need. And it's just an amazing thing to not only see the United States doing it, but we're seeing countries and nations all around the world, continents, getting involved in the Modi politics, the Modi brand, as SEHUL Seth was saying. And what a great speech. I want to hats off to you. Great speech. I was trying to explain to people who Modi is, what he's all about, and I think that right there covers a lot of it. But there's more. But there's more to this awesome leader. And I would just like to say I want to thank you all so much for joining and tuning in, opening your hearts and minds to what is out there and what's going on, and a leader that the world can look at and follow. Do you think that he is one that has been represented well? I do. And I don't know everything. I'm not a professional Modi. And trust me, I'm here to learn, ladies and gentlemen, just like you. And the more I do learn about him, and the more I hear him, and the more I see what he's doing, I'm subscribing to Modi. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching. Hearts out. Blessings from the United States if you're watching from overseas, and blessings to you here in America as well. We love you guys. One love, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.